is the first of many Wellness Wednesdays where I'll be hosting a mini online workshop answering FAQs as it pertains to holistic mind, body, spirit wellness. I have subscribers from all around the globe, including online surveys that I do, and also subscribers from my newsletter and my Mind, Body, Spirit Challenge that all write in all around the globe with various concerns, frustrations, or questions on how to live a more happy, healthy, and balanced life. And so this is my passion, and I want to be able to share this with you every Wednesday and answer some of your most frequently asked questions. So if you happen to be watching this live and you have a question, you can go ahead and log into Twitter or go to my website at sarah-rose.net. And you can type your questions in there. If you go to my website and you click on Live Wellness Workshops, there's a tab where you can type in Facebook comments and type your question there. If you're on Twitter, you can use hashtag Wellness Wednesday, and my handle is at Sarah Rose Yoga. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those up right now just to make sure I don't miss any questions that might come in. And also, let's see, so yes, so okay. All right, we got that going. So to launch the first Wellness Wednesday, I would like to address a question that I received a week ago that I feel everyone can relate to. And let me go ahead and get started with that. So this is, someone wrote in last week from my newsletter, is there a wrong or right way to meditate? And so that was her question, and I just wanted to address the question before we get started. The way the question was worded, where she referenced a right or a wrong way to meditate. And I just wanted to preface with the fact that as humans, we judge and we discern and we gather information and make decisions on a daily basis. This is wired in our survival, right? So we're constantly deciding on things, on whether to go left or right, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's good or bad, things like that. And I wanted to just state that that mindset, while it is ingrained in us for a very important reason to help us survive, that mindset or that insatiable urge to always be judging or labeling things would actually hinder some of the effectiveness of your meditation. So let's just start out by rewording that question. So is there a wrong or right way to meditate? Well, she's obviously new to meditation to be asking that question. So a better question would be, what's an effective meditation technique for beginners? And so we're going to go ahead and start with that. First, let's just start off by explaining what a couple of big benefits that you're going to get from meditation. If you are very brand new to meditation and you're not aware of some of the benefits, the science is in on meditation, and it's very helpful for everything from depression to anxiety to insomnia to relieve inflammation in the body for a lot of different reasons. But meditation's been around for thousands of years, and I urge you to Google this if you're questioning whether or not meditation is something that might be good for you or not, because it definitely has proven science, hard science results. Okay, so two reasons that meditation works so well. Okay, so two of the benefits that you're going to be able to experience of why meditation works is meditation helps bring our awareness to the present moment. Okay, so present moment awareness. So from the mental aspect of meditation, it helps us to train our mind, and it helps us to bring our awareness into the centered present moment. And this is where our energy exists. This is where we exist. All of our thoughts outside of the present moment that are dwelling on the past or regretful of the past or worried about something that happened before, maybe it'll happen again, worried about something that might happen in the future, those things are future-based thoughts. And they don't exist in the present moment. So by focusing on our breath and meditation, we quiet and train our mind to be more aware of our present moment. And again, that is where all of our power exists. So when you hear people talk about the power of now, when you hear people talk about present moment, that's what they're referring to. This is where the magic happens, is in the present moment. This is where where you can really begin to work on yourself. And by training our mind to get to that point, to get to that place, it becomes, you'll see that it becomes habitual. So instead of always focused on the things that are external to us, we're able to focus in on our present moment and have more of a reaction time to things versus just reacting to life events. It gives us a different perspective. It gives us a chance to choose. It gives us this buffering zone, if you will, where there's options, basically, instead of just reacting to things. From a physiological perspective, okay, so you can expect to experience less stress and anxiety in your life by meditation. And I just want to talk a little bit about how it works, how stress is physiologically in the body, like what happens. So I talk a lot about stress and anxiety for two reasons. One, because it is the #1 frustration and obstacle that's been brought up time and time again in my newsletter and again in my Mind, Body, Spirit Challenge and through my online surveys. Hands down, one of the top frustrations and obstacles that people are experiencing today as far as health and wellness is concerned is the management of stress and anxiety. The second reason I talk about stress and anxiety so much is because it was a huge factor in my life. I was a chronic worrier and a total stress ball, so I can relate to this, and I've been able to overcome a lot of the habitual patterns that I pretty much felt like I locked myself into in the past, because and meditation was one of the ways I was able to break through that. So physiologically, when your body is in a state of stress, your guard is up. It's telling your body you're in a fight or flight situation. It's a life-threatening situation. So stress, or it should be anyway, so stress is actually there to help us. It's not a bad thing when it's in small doses, okay? But stress is meant to be in 5-minute increments max. After that, it's considered chronic. And when our body's in a state of stress, which again it's a built-in survival mechanism, that's not going to go away anytime soon, but we have to be able to control it and turn it back off when it's time to turn it back off. So the other problem is that mentally we put ourselves in a lot of quote-unquote fight or flight situations that are clearly not life or death because we work them up in our mind so much. So another reason why training the mind is going to help drastically reduce stress in our bodies. And so when your body is stressed, your sympathetic nervous system is kicked into high gear, and that's pumping out the cortisol, and that's also shutting down other systems, not completely, but they're not operating at their optimal levels, like your digestive system and your reproductive system. So when you're stressed out, your other systems are compensating for that. Now, when you're relaxed, such as in meditation, or when you learn to train your mind to be more relaxed despite of what's going on around you, you're going to be kicking in your parasympathetic nervous system. And when that kicks in, that tells your body it's okay to relax. You're not in a life or death situation, and it's okay to chill. So that's what your parasympathetic nervous system is doing. So meditation is it's going to give you those two benefits right out of the gate, and you don't have to meditate for a long time to do it. So I'm going to hit one obstacle that I hear a lot right away, and that is the time factor. People think it has to take a lot of time to meditate, and it doesn't. In fact, the studies show that you'll find if you Google these, a lot of the studies show that the benefits of meditation will kick in just if you can do it for 20 minutes a day. And if you can do it 20 minutes a day twice a day, then that's even better. But 20 minutes a day is all you really need in order to get the therapeutic benefits of meditation. So it does not have to take a long time. And even if you're starting out with only 5 minutes, that's that's perfect. Whatever you can start with, you can always build up in increments. So let's go through what I'd like to say is a little checklist of what some beginners would benefit the most in knowing prior to starting meditation. Okay, first, it's proven, I'd like to say that I'm sharing a little bit of my personal technique, and I'd like to start by saying that it's going to probably mix a little bit of like yoga therapy into meditation, because I can't have one without the other. And it's proven that your body relaxes better when you have a little bit of movement. So that's why savasanas in yoga feel so good, is because we just worked our body for an hour and 15 minutes, and you're more able to relax after that. So what I typically do is I'll gently move my body in a way. I usually meditate in the morning, and then later on in the evening or in the afternoon. So I do it twice a day. So the main thing you're going to want to do is try to find a time when it's quiet. Try to find a time you're not going to be disturbed, okay? Try to find a quiet space that you can just be by yourself for 20 to 30 minutes, and that's your first step, is finding a quiet space and a quiet time of day, whatever that time is, and figuring that out and trying to stick to some form of a schedule with it. So the more you do it, the better you'll get. So try to find a time where you know you'll have the place to yourself and that it'll be quiet. And then I start with some movements, and I'll get my spine moving. I'll do some cat-cow positions to get some movement in my spine. I'll maybe bring my arms over my head and stretch my intercostal muscles on the side of my obliques, things like that, to really get my core moving. Maybe the shoulders and the neck, just loosen up. Basically, what you're looking to do is anything that feels good to you. It doesn't have to be a particular yoga pose. It can be anything that feels good to you, anything that helps you relax, anything that gets a little movement, a little energy flowing, okay? The main thing is we want energy to be flowing, and we want to be relaxed. We want the tension to be released, okay? So usually while I'm doing those, I'm breathing, deep breathing while I'm doing the exercises. And then even after I finish moving, and this is only a couple of minutes, it's nothing, it's not like a big yoga sequence or anything like that. It's just a couple of minutes of moving your body, tuning inward, and then breathing a little bit, deep breathing, to help your body relax even more. Deep breathing is the #1 way to initiate your parasympathetic nervous system and to calm and relax you. So I always take a few deep breaths, and with audible sighs, so I can really I can really feel it vibrate in my heart chakra. I can feel that sound is a really good way to open up your heart chakra, really good way to get your energy flowing, really good way to release tension and stress, and a really good way to kick on your relaxation response. So followed by, after a couple of movements, follow that up with some deep breathing, just a couple of rounds. Breathe in, and then exhale completely out, and don't be afraid to make some sound and let your body just feel that. Just close your eyes and feel the vibration of the energy moving through you as you exhale that breath out. And then after that, so we're ready to actually sit and get started. So the next thing I wanted to point out is comfortable clothing. You want to be unrestricted. You don't want to be in tight, uncomfortable clothing. You want to be comfortable, and again, you want energy to flow. Energy is not going to flow as well if you're in tight clothing. So, and that's whether it's tight tops or bottoms, whatever it is, if you get comfortable and get into something that's nice and cozy, so you can move freely when you're doing your movements, your little warm-up exercise, and really settle in and be comfortable, because you're going to be sitting in stillness for 5 to 20 minutes, and you're not going to really be able to sit still if you're you're sitting in cross-legged positions in tight jeans and your knees are like cutting off of circulation. So you want to make sure you get into something that's comfortable. So then the next step is to go ahead and sit in a comfortable seated position, sort of like an Indian style position. And you can rest your arms on your lap with your palms down or your palms up, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And the main thing to know here, I'm going to throw in a little yoga therapy because I'm all about not reinforcing fear-based alignments and all about energy flowing during your meditation. So we're going to sit in a comfortable seated position, even if that means you have to sit on a pillow, sit on the edge of a pillow so your knees slightly dip a little bit lower than where your seat is. If that's more comfortable, you want to make sure your knees are comfortable. You don't have to cross your legs. If that's not comfortable, find another place to keep your legs. Some people do lay down when they meditate, but that's more of an advanced position just because a lot of people, when they get so relaxed, will end up falling asleep. And we don't want to fall asleep. And if you're a beginner, which this video is for beginners, then we're just, for the purpose of this video, going to talk about in a seated position. So first thing is, once you get settled in, you're going to just imagine maybe like a cord, okay, like coming from your crown and just stretching you up ever so slightly so you can feel yourself expand, okay? So you're going to feel yourself lengthen through your core. Or not your core, sorry, crown. You're going to lengthen through your crown. But that's lengthening your spine. And your spine is where your energy centers are, where your chakras are. And so we want your spine to be long during your meditation. That's part of the alignment. The other part of the alignment I wanted to point out was what I see sometimes are people slunched over and their neck is jutting out when they're meditating. And that's a fear-based alignment. So I'm going to close my eyes and I'm just going to, this really doesn't even feel comfortable to be in this position once you're not used to being in it anymore. But if you can see, my shoulders are slunched and my chin is sort of, I got this kink in the back of my neck and my chin is up. So this is a fear-based alignment. You might be doing one or you might be doing the other. You might be doing both. So this is a fear-based alignment. So what you want to do is, when you get seated and you get in your yoga, or not yoga, meditation pose, you're going to want to roll your shoulders back and down. And if you have taken a yoga class, you've probably heard that quite a bit. So shoulders back and down, heart center, okay? And the chin, not jutting up with this huge kink in the back of the neck, but just gently dip the chin and integrate the chin so you can lengthen through your crown and lengthen your spine. So you'll notice just how much better that feels if you are used to carrying yourself that way, how much more empowered you feel when you go from this to this, okay? From this to this. This is putting your heart forward. This is opening up your heart chakra. This is really a good prime position for meditation. And other than that, it's a fear-based alignment, and you're sending a signal to your body that's been ingrained in your muscle memory for forever that this is a sign that it's time to run. This is a fear-based fight or flight position. So we don't want to be in that position, especially when we're meditating. So spine straight, lengthen through your crown, gently integrate your chin, shoulders back and down, with your palms gently placed on your lap, up or down, doesn't matter. And so now we're set, now we're primed, and now we're ready to start meditation. And you've already started to bring your attention and awareness into your body by the initial exercises that you did to sort of just get some flow, get some energy flowing, get some movement in your body, and then with some deep breath exercises. So now we're going to focus on bringing your attention to the present moment through the practice of meditation by focusing on your breath. Just like in yoga, when you focus on your breath and you link your breath with movement, it's all about the breath. So if you weren't focusing on your breath in yoga, you're just doing a lot of stretching. You're not technically doing yoga. Meditation is also based around centering yourself, and the breath is a way to link your mind, body, and spirit together. And the breath is a good way for you to focus on centering your awareness in the present moment. You can also, there's also mantras, and we also have mudras, but we're not going to go into that today. Those are a little bit more advanced techniques. We might go into a mantra at the end, but right now we're just going to keep it simple, and we're just going to use the breath as our guide, okay? So whether you're doing this on a subway, whether you're doing this in your office on lunch break, whether you're doing this at your home, wherever you're at, before bed, when you wake up, wherever you're at, this doesn't have to take a long time, and you can do it wherever, whenever. Okay, so I always felt like there's this big misconception that meditation is some big, complicated thing, and it's not. You can find places online that will charge you a lot of money to go learn certain meditation techniques, or charge a lot of money to go to retreats to learn certain meditation techniques. And really, it's really not that difficult. Anybody can implement meditation for free into their daily life and start to reap the benefits immediately. So we're going to go into a comfortable position and go ahead and close your eyes, and then I'm going to close my eyes with you. I'm going to sort of guide you through this for a few rounds so you can just sort of get a feel for it. So you're going to release your breath, and then I'll share some tips that I like to do. So close your eyes. Focus your awareness at, I like to do either the bridge, the tip of my nose, or the third eye, the point between the center of my eyebrows. So I generally place my gaze, my inner gaze, at the bridge of my nose or the point between my eyebrows. And then we're going to take a couple of breaths where I'll be silent as well. And we're just going to focus on the breath as you inhale and then as you exhale. So you're just focusing your awareness on the breath. You're focusing your awareness on the fact that you're breathing. You're bringing your awareness to the fact that you're breathing, okay? So go ahead and try this. You're not forcing the breath, and you're not controlling the breath. You're just allowing the breath to inflate gently into your chest, into your abdomen, into your diaphragm. And then you're exhaling. And the entire time you're just sort of riding, your awareness is just sort of riding that wave of your breath in and out. So go ahead and try this for a couple of rounds, and I'll be quiet and I'll do the same. Okay, on your next inhale, go ahead and open your eyes. And so maybe, hopefully, for a moment there, you got a little experience of what it's like to sort of drown out all the noise, all the background noise that's going on, and not have your to-do list, and not have the thing that happened to you a couple of hours ago that really upset you, and not have, a lot of these different things in your experience, and just have a centered focus in the present moment, using your breath as a tool, using the awareness of your breath as a tool is probably a better way to state it. So it's focusing your awareness on the fact that you're acknowledging you're breathing in, and you're acknowledging that you're breathing out. And by doing that, you're sort of narrowing your focus, and it's just more narrow into the present moment where everything else just drowns away. Worrying is a future-based activity. It's a future mindset. And so in the present moment, you're not worrying. So hopefully you got just a taste of what that was like to not have all of that noise, stress, anxiety, or worry, at least for those few moments. So now, and maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't have this moment of uninterrupted awareness where everything just sort of dissipated. And that's okay too. Maybe you're, sitting here breathing, thinking, oh my God, okay, so now I gotta breathe, and then I'll breathe again, and then, oh God, okay, I'm not doing this right, okay, God. All right, so if that was you and you had the monkey chatter going on, the monkey mind and the mind chatter going, that's totally understandable and normal. So the other frustration that I wanted to hit, that a lot of people are reporting back saying that they've stopped meditating because they don't feel like they can do it right, because they can't quiet their mind. And I just wanted to I wanted to relieve this obstacle from you as a frustration, so it's no longer a tool it's no longer something that's working against you, but it's a tool that you can use to just know that you're on the right track. So every time you have a thought, that's normal. So just know that that's normal. Know that everybody that's ever started to meditate has had thoughts creep in. Everybody. I've been meditating for a while, and sometimes I can really get into that space where I can really get into that awareness space, or I really like get into that zone and that flow. And then the other times, even the same day, I'll sit down and meditate, and I can't quiet my mind to save my life, it seems. That is normal. So go into it knowing that that's going to happen. Don't expect overnight that your mind is just going to be able to shut off. Plus, know that we're wired that way. So it's not realistic to think that we're not going to think things. It's not realistic that we're going to be able to hold off thoughts for long periods of time. You'll get better at it as you do it, but know going into it. This is the number one. I mean, if I can't stress anything enough to a beginner, this is the number one thing that it will be a deal breaker for them of whether they come back and try to use meditation as a tool ever again. And they'll just like write it off their list, like, I'm no good at meditation, it won't work for me. But that's the process. That is a challenge, and with every challenge there's a lesson. Okay, so with every challenge there's something that's willing to be birthed from that experience that is growth. Okay, so if you're being challenged in that way, which you will, which everybody is, just know up front that that's part of meditation. You didn't not meditate because you sat down and it felt like you were wrestling with thoughts in your mind the whole time. You're still meditating. It's a process. You can't expect to get from point A to point B without the process. And so often I think we forget about the journey. The journey is where everything's at. If we only focus on point A to point B, that's part of the reasons we're so stressed. So let's not think about this end result that we have to be this perfect meditator in order for meditation to work for us. Let's focus on meditation being a process. And each day is different. And some days you may get into this zone where you feel like, wow, and then totally refreshed and revived when you're done. And then you might fall back into a day where, you're a little bit more frazzled, a little bit more wired, and it's a little bit harder to let go of these thoughts that keep coming into your head. So, but knowing that it's normal up front is going to hopefully put your mind at ease a little bit, that you're not doing it wrong. There is no wrong or right way. It's just the fact that you're sitting down with the intention to turn your attention inward on yourself is already a huge gift you're giving yourself, really, in actuality. Just the act to iron out the 5 minutes a day to sit and do it is already telling the universe, your intentions to really grow from a core level. Okay, so know that going into it up front, you're not failing at it. It's not wrong. You're not doing it wrong. It's a process, and it will get better and better and better with time, just like anything. Okay, so with that said, I wanted to offer a technique that sort of helps when that happens. So instead of getting frustrated, maybe try this technique. It might work for you. It's worked for me in the past, which is why I'm sharing it. I'm very much a visual person. And so visualizing things sort of helps me. I do a lot with visualization work. So when I'm meditating, if I have a thought, so I'm in my present moment, I'm meditating, I'm relaxed, and I may even be like borderline in that space where I'm completely like expanding. I can feel my energy expanding, and I'm becoming more just a big ball of energy than I am a physical body sitting there. And you may experience that as well. And then a thought will come into my head. And what I tend to do is visualize it away, like, ooh, like I'll turn it into like a sentence or a word, or I'll turn it into like some sort of a word, and as it floats into my mind, I'll gently blow it right out of my mind with my thoughts. So So I'm obviously not using my hands when I'm meditating, but I use my hands when I talk. So, but just picture this. Close your eyes for a second. See if this will help you. Like focus and try to meditate, again, by bringing your awareness to your breath. Focus on your inhale and on your exhale, and do that for a few minutes, or not for a few minutes, for a few rounds. And when a thought pops into your head, I'm going to be quiet for a minute. When a thought pops into your head, just imagine it sort of materializing into something tangible that you just blow away. Go ahead and try that for a couple of rounds, and I'll do that as well. Okay, so go ahead and open your eyes. On that breath, you sort of push it away. You sort of let it ride out. So I think of it as floating. I think of it as soft. I think of it as light. I think, oh, a thought, and then I let it go. No, a thought, and then I let it go. And it's very floating and light to me. I sort of visualize it just popping in and popping out. And that lightness and that floatiness to me resembles the fact that it's not some hard, concrete thing that I got to worry about, or I got to try to figure out, or I got to try to push away. It's not restrictive. It's not solid. It's just something that is so easily pushed away, just as easily as it pops in. Okay, so with ease. Okay, so that sort of helps me, and that might be a technique that helps you. Knowing that as you do this, as you sort of get better and better at this, one thing you'll notice is that this I guess gap in between the thoughts coming to you will get bigger, and your focused awareness in this centered moment will expand. And in that moment, you're going to get a sense of your inner being, okay? You're going to get a sense of what it feels like, your true inner being. And it may feel different for you. For me, it feels like energy expanding to the point where I don't even have fingers and toes anymore. I'm just a big ball of energy. Okay? So that may or may not happen to you, but even if it doesn't, you're still getting the benefits from meditation. Even if it doesn't get to that point, you're still calming your nervous system. You're still implementing a relaxation response, and you're still training your mind. So the real magic, though, is when you take it outside of meditation and put it into your daily life. And wanted to talk about one of the benefits you'll notice there, especially if you are prone to being a worrier or stressed out for certain reasons. You'll notice that as you go through your day, the things that used to trigger you may still be there, but you're going to be responding to them in a different way. You're not going to just instantly react to them. This awareness that you're growing in meditation, it seems very synonymous with the space that you'll be creating for yourself between your external world and how you choose to react to things. So instead of being like a knee-jerk reaction to things that would normally get you upset, you'll just sort of, oh, okay. And then you'll be able to make a decision, a choice, a conscious choice, not a knee-jerk reaction decision on how you want to handle certain things. And that gives you back power, and it gives you back control, and it releases the resistance that you have. So that's one thing that you'll notice, and you'll notice that in your daily life. And the other thing is that when you do meditate, because I'm really big onto yoga, in the yoga therapy, and I'm really big into the other one is energy medicine. So I did also want to just touch that when you do meditate, you raise your energy vibration. And the reason you raise your energy vibration is because you're dropping the resistance. You're dropping the resistant thoughts basically around you. And what that does is it allows you to have your natural state of being come into focus, basically, because the resistance is falling away. So we're energetic beings by nature at a very high vibration, but when we have all this resistance, it bogs us down, and that's when we experience stress. So without the resistance, you're minimizing the stress, but at the same time, you're also allowing your inner being, your true, authentic nature to come to the surface. So that's just a little bit. I'll speak a lot more on energetics, and energy medicine, and the energy spirit connection. But for today, I feel like this is a good starting point for a lot of people that are looking to begin meditation and not necessarily sure how to get started. Let's see if I have any people on Twitter, any comments. And whether or not you're watching this live or whether you're watching it a year from now, if you have questions that you want answered on Wellness Wednesday in one of these workshops, go ahead and you can still tweet to @SarahRoseYoga, and you use hashtag Wellness Wednesday. Still watch for those. And also you can still go to my website at sarah-rose.net and type your questions in on the Live Wellness Workshop tab in the menu bar. And yeah, I'll still answer your questions in upcoming workshops. It doesn't matter when you necessarily see this video. So also, I encourage you to join my newsletter if you haven't already. It's loaded with mind, body, spirit techniques and a holistic approach to daily living and creating healthy habits, because in the end it's the things that we do on a daily basis that are going to make more of a difference in our lives. And I'm very passionate about sharing healthy habits as it pertains to a real holistic approach to overall mind, body, and spirit wellness. So I would love your feedback on this video. If you happen to try some of these techniques and they work for you, like the visualization that I gave, or to get the thoughts out of your mind when you're meditating, I would love to know if that meditation technique works for you, and or if you started meditation, how is it going? I would love any feedback, comments, or questions. So feel free to leave a comment on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube, or again on any one of those pages on the page on my website. And I'll also, if you're on Facebook, I'm at Sarah Rose Wellness, and I also post questions for Wellness Wednesday on my Facebook, and you can feel free to reply with your comments on there as well. So I'm very interested in how this works out for you, and I really hope to hear back as far as your comments go. And if you're interested in making this mind, body, spirit wellness an approach that you adapt as a lifestyle, I do have the Mind, Body, Spirit Challenge on my website, which is a 365-day challenge, and it does have different tiers, and the initial tier is free. So if you are interested at all, go ahead and check that out. I'll be loading up a lot of guided meditations, including Yoga Nidra, which is already up on the site for challenge members. And I'll talk a lot about Yoga Nidra in an upcoming video. But if that is something that you're interested in, I would definitely check out the website and join, because it is free. So you'll have an entire year of health, wellness from a mind, body, spirit perspective that you can integrate into your daily life. So it's not only a coaching program, but it's also a toolbox, because I'll be uploading lots of guided meditations, guided relaxations, and guided visualizations for you as well that you can use at your disposal. So I thank you for joining me on my first Wellness Wednesday, and I look forward to having a series every Wednesday and covering a lot of topics that are very important for a lot of people, and I hope you can make it and tune in for some future videos. And I wish you a beautiful Wednesday. Namaste.